Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Om Peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, for almost 2 weeks, I think we didn't had a class on this Drishya Viveka. So 1 week we had a workshop, other week I was not here, had been to Cork. In the 2 weeks before, we were discussing the cause of samsara. So what is samsara? The cycle of birth and death. I've taken birth, I'm leading my life, then at some point of time, I die. Then again, I take birth, I lead my life, I experience my life, enjoying or suffering, I die. So this repeated cycle of birth and death is called samsara. There is one of the definition with regarding to samsara. Why this is happening, repeated birth and death? Because of ignorance. So what is the cause of this samsara? The author is trying to explain from the, I think, verse 13 or 14 onwards. The author is trying to explain what is the cause of samsara. In the 16th verse, we saw that because the seer 3, the sakshi, the witness, is misidentified with seer 2 or seer 1, that is mind or sense organs, and also sometimes on the world, with the world and its objects. That is why he is mistaking himself with the body, mind, and the world. That is the cause for samsara, or that is the cause of ignorance. That means the seer 3, Sakshi, is misidentified himself with the body and mind. That is called, we call him as Jivatma. So according to the Vedanta, strictly speaking, this embodied self, the Jivatma, is unreal. Yes. And the Sakshi, the seer number 3, is real, eternal, and is ever free. Yes. So if I am a Sakshi, I am ever free. And if the notion of Jivatma is a pseudo feeling, it is unreal. Now the liberation is for whom then? Shastras, the scriptures are trying to tell we should liberate, we should get liberation, we should attain liberation. So the liberation is for whom? If I am a Sakshi, I am ever free, eternally free, I don't need liberation. Fine. If I am supposed, for argument's sake, if I am a Jivatma, embodied soul or embodied self, then that is also pseudo feeling, that which is unreal. Then even the liberation for him also, or for Jivatma is also, it is not tangible. So the role of scripture, the role of spiritual practice may become futile. It's a waste of time. Some people, they didn't have any other work, just as a spending time or killing time. We use the word today, killing time. How to kill the time, I don't know, because I'm feeling boredom. So just to kill the time, the so-called wise people have written scriptures and we are studying it. So this type of doubt or question may come to us. So this particular doubt has been dealt in the 17th verse. Let us try to understand. Asya jivatma aropat sakshini api avabhasate avruttau tu vinishtayam bede bate bade paiti tat. Means the character of an embodied self appears through false superimposition in the witness only. With the disappearance of the veiling power of Maya, the distinction between the seer and the seen becomes clear, and with it, the Jiva character of the witness disappears. So, from the 13th verse onwards, the author is trying to tell what is the cause of samsara and what is the remedy. Here he is telling how this character of embodied self comes into existence, how the embodied self comes into existence. Because seer 3 is misidentified with seer 2 or 1. That's why the embodied self concept has come, or the embodied self notion has been emerged. That is because of the ignorance. That is called avarna shakti, avidya. Ignorance, avidya, which is one of the power of Maya, avarna shakti, the concealing power of Maya. Because of that, we are not able to make a distinction between the seer and the seen, between the sakshi, the witness, and the body and the mind. So we are getting confused, we are baffled, and we are suffering. So once you remove the wrong notion, then I will be happy, or I will be restoring my real nature. Just for example, just I saw a piece of rope. There was neither it was a complete dark nor there was a complete light. So there was a middle. It was neither complete dark nor complete light, but in the twilight I saw a piece of rope, and I mistook it for a snake. And immediately I shouted that snake, snake, snake. Then the people, whoever there in the house, everyone came with a torch and stick and whatnot. Where is the snake? Then I showed that corner. Then when they put on the torch, then they saw, oh my God, oh my dear, that is not a snake, it is a rope. But because of my ignorance, because of my wrong cognition or wrong understanding, I got a fear, I got a phobia, I got a reflection action on whatnot. The moment in the form of guru, my own family member came and showed that it is a rope, it is not a snake, then the ignorance has been removed. The moment the ignorance is removed, even the fear of the snake, the fear of death or whatever, that also has been removed. That will be removed automatically. So that's what the scriptures actually does. So the scriptures doesn't give you anything, it only removes it actually. Though we say we attain liberation, we should strive for liberation, we should strive for attaining liberation. This is all because of a limitation of the language we use it, but it is nothing to be attained, only to be losing actually. We have to lose something. That is what liberation actually, strictly speaking. What we have to lose in the liberation? Losing the ignorance. Or the destroying the ignorance is what? Nothing but liberation actually. Because of ignorance, we are thinking that we are bound. I've got a problem. I've got a disease. I am unhappy. I am happy. I am depressed. I am elevated. I am good. I am bad. Whatever all the pairs of opposites or dualities I am feeling, I'm experiencing, all these things belongs to my body and mind complex. But unfortunately, I am superimposing that to on myself. That is what the scriptures are trying to tell. Oh my dear, you are the self. You are the subject. You are never the object. So you are ever free. But the bound, whatever you are feeling, that boundness, that is pertaining to body and mind. So the nature of the body and mind has been superimposed on the self, on the sakshi, and that's why I am suffering. So the scripture is trying to remove that ignorance, remove the wrong notion, removing the wrong understanding. And if you see here, the Vedanta or our Indian or especially Hindu scriptures are only straightforward enough, sincere enough to tell what is the role of scripture. And also it gives you to question, and it gives you to rationally think what is the role of scripture, Why do I need scripture? In probably, especially in the Semitic religions, you cannot question the authority of Quran and Bible. If you ask, it is a blasphemy. But in Vedas or in Upanishads or in Hindu scriptures, you can question the scriptures. You can question the authority of the scriptures. Why do I need scriptures? What is the efficacy of the scriptures? That is the beauty. Now, getting into more details, I would like to explain a particular type of superimposition that is called dharma adhyasa. Adhyasa, we all know that it is a superimposition. Dharma means it is superimposition of properties. Now, for an example, a crystal has been kept on the table. We all know that the crystal doesn't have any color. It is a colorless. And we keep a red hibiscus flower in front of it. There is a crystal on the table, and we keep a red hibiscus flower. Immediately, what happens? Then the crystal starts appearing as a red. Earlier, it was colorless, and now it is appearing as a red. Now, if you ask a small baby or a child, the redness belong to prism or we say the child may say yes. Why? Because it is able to see that red prism or red crystal. But the grown-up people will be knowing that the redness doesn't belong to prism or a crystal, rather it belongs to hibiscus flower. So similarly, I am limited. I am happy or unhappy. I am good or I am bad. I am right and I am wrong. All these qualities belong to body and mind, not for the self. The redness belong to hibiscus flower, not of the prism. But because of its intimacy, it is appearing that the redness belongs to prism. Similarly, all this pair of opposites and the limitedness and the dualities has been superimposed on the self from the body and mind, and we are thinking that we are limited. And one more probably day-to-day experience I will explain, then you'll be able to understand. Oh, how are you? How are you, Swamiji? If someone asks, I say, oh, I'm suffering from cold. Okay. Someone asks, oh, I am suffering from fever. And someone may say, I am suffering from body ache. So in all these three instances, I am suffering from cold, I am suffering from flu or fever, and I am suffering from body ache. Here, I means who? I means actually body. Body suffering from fever, body suffering from flu, body suffering from ache. But though that is a fact, but we think that I am suffering from fever, as if I am suffering from fever. If I is supposed to be the self, if I am the self, then self cannot suffer from the fever, self cannot suffer from the cold, self cannot suffer from the body ache or any pain. But unfortunately, we feel that we are suffering because of superimposition. This is called dharmadhyasa. So I am the seer number 3, that is Sakshi, witness. What is the nature of the seer number 3, which we have discussed already? I am the subject, never the object. I am the pure awareness. I am the consciousness. And I am neither the mind, nor the sense organs, nor the body mind complex, nor the world and its objects. But though how much ever I tell, but we are all these things, the nature of the body and mind has been superimposed, or we have attached with the body and mind, and the nature of the body and mind has been superimposed on the seer. So to remove this superimposition, we need scriptures. So author is trying to tell, why do we need scriptures? What is the role of scriptures? It removes the superimposition. It removes the wrong understanding. It removes the wrong notion. I am limited. I am bound. I am, oh, he looks so handsome. He looks so ugly. Does he means what? His body looks handsome, his skin color or his physical appearance looks handsome or ugly, but he's the self. It is always auspicious, it is always good. It is neither ugly nor handsome. But because of ignorance, we misidentify with the body and mind complex, and we feel that the nature of the body and mind as if it is our nature. Simple, very, I mean, it On the lighter side, I tell. When I was small, probably one of the relative had passed away. Then, because relative had passed away, my mother took me to the house where a person has died. And I mean, husband has died, wife is sitting. In the olden days, people used to cry, wife sitting, and she was sitting now. And as soon as we went, I mean, mother and father and myself went, immediately she connected with the relationship and she started crying. Then she cried for 2, 3 minutes and she kept quiet and everything silence. And again, one more person came and again they established a relationship and they started crying. Fine. Then and then their children who were there little away, they came and everyone started crying very profusely. And among three children, one son just a week before they had married. He had married, and wife also had come, and wife also started crying. Why? Because his father-in-law has passed away. When I was observing, I started feeling laughing, but I couldn't afford to laugh. Why? Because 1 week before, that lady had never any that lady had never any connection with that particular house or that particular person, because now she has married to a particular person and he's the son of the dead person. That's what she's feeling affiliated, she's feeling attached to that family, and as if my own person has died, she started crying. I'm not saying it is good or bad or right or wrong. Say 20 days before, for argument's sake, for understanding sake, if that person, same person who has died today, if 20 days before or 1 month before, if that same person had died, do we think that, or can any one of us think that the lady who has recently married, newly married, she would have cried? No, someone has died. So because of that attachment, mine, my people, mine, so that's why she started crying. So how it is with the external world or external people, it is same thing with one's own body and mind. Because I feel it is my body, that's why I feel if anything happens to my body, then I feel it is happening to me. If I feel that this body is just an instrument which is meant for experience, then if something happens to my body, then I don't bother. I mean, for an example, I'm holding a moped. I love it, I like it. Then I was driving. Suddenly there was a heavy rain and there was a small stream used to flow and there was no other way out. Then I had to cross it. While crossing, because of the heavy rain and the water force was too much, and that water is pulling away. It is pulling the moped. Now I have to decide, if I have to take care of the moped, then I may also get washed out. Then if I leave the moped, at least somehow I can take care of myself. At that juncture, from 1 year I was using that moped and used to love, and I've taken the photo of with it, and I've shared that photo with all my social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, and whatnot. And now, whether I whether I want moped or whether I want my life, if that question comes, then for good or bad, I leave the moped, I renounce the moped, and I take care of my life because it is my moped, it is not I the moped. But this understanding we don't. And it is easy with the external objects, but when it comes to with our own body and mind, it is difficult. There's a funny incident in Sri Ramakrishna's life when Sri Ramakrishna said for his one of his monastic disciple, apostle Swami Turiyananji, "Look, I am suffering from throat cancer." He asked, "Are you suffering or is your body suffering?" Then immediately he said, "Sir, oh, this rascal has found out the truth." Though actually Sri Ramakrishna never felt that suffering because he had clearly detached from his body and mind. Just to test his disciple, he made that point, or he made that whatever the sentence. Then his disciple asked, "Are you suffering or is your body suffering?" So with all great people, with the experienced people, I mean the experience of the truth, for such people, their body may be suffering, they will be very happy. Even all the disciples, whoever has seen Sri Ramakrishna, even at the verge of the death, everyone says that we never saw Sri Ramakrishna with a morose face, not even a single day. He had a cancer, throat cancer. He was unable to eat anything, even liquid also. He was just, what you say, reduced to skin and bones. Even at that point he was happy, his face with full of smile. Why? His body was suffering from the cancer, no doubt, but he was not suffering. But if same thing happens to us, we feel morose, we feel depressed, we feel stress, we may scold our parents, we may scold our society, we may scold God especially. Why? Because we feel that cancer has happened to me, not to my body. So because of this wrong notion only, I'm experiencing all type of dualities in the world. And this is the major reason or primary reason cause for my cycle of birth and death. That's what author is trying to tell. So why should we study scriptures? Or again, why should you attend my what do you say, Drishya Viveka talk? Because to understand this, what is the reality and what is the ignorance. And if you remove the ignorance, then you can be happy. The world will never change, so we should not expect that the world will change. People may not change in and around you, but in spite of all the challenges, you can be happy. I think there's a beautiful story with Ramana Maharshi. Someone went and said, "Oh, sir, please tell me how to end my suffering." So the disciple, the aspirant thought he will give some mantra for japam, or he will give a method of sadhana, or he will bless, he will give some spiritual blessing so that his suffering can be end. He was expecting that. But Ramana Maharshi just, he looked at him and he said, "Who are, you said that how to end the suffering, please tell me who is suffering." Then the disciple started scratching the head. Who is suffering? Because someone is suffering is not going to ask. He means that he's suffering, so how to end the suffering is asking. He said that I am suffering, so I would like to know that to end this suffering, is there any way out? Then Ramana Maharshi again calmly said, "Fine, you made a statement now. I am suffering. Who is that I?" Again, he started just thinking, who is I? Who am I? Who is that I? Then Ramana Maharshi said, "See, I refers to actually self. But unfortunately, we are mistaking that I with this body and mind. That's why we feel that we are suffering. So remove that wrong notion or hold on to that I, then suffering ceases to exist. Not physically, but at least inside, in reality. That I am suffering, when you made that statement, that I is referring to body and mind, and you are thinking that I am the body and mind. That's why suffering exists for you. Hold on to that real I and leave that pseudo I, then the suffering ends. What a beautiful answer. What a magnanimous, what a beautiful thinking. Even. So hold on to the real I, leave the pseudo I, then the problem ceases to exist. That's where the suffering ceases to exist. This is called Samyak Darshana, the view of reality. What is reality? We have to view it, we have to understand it, we have to experience it. And once in Swami Vivekananda's, he gave a lot of beautiful lectures, we all know that. And many people, hundreds of people used to attend his lectures. And sometimes the whole auditorium used to be full, and people used to stand outside the building near the door or near the windows or wherever, and whatever is possible, they used to listen. They used to try to listen. Once a person told, "Swami, it appears that you are hypnotizing the Americans, or you are hypnotizing the people of America." Swami Vivekananda just he saw the fellow and he said, "No, you are wrong." He said, "Why?" "Because I am not hypnotizing people, I am dehypnotizing." What is that? Because we have been hypnotized that body and mind. I am body, I am mind, I am body, I am mind, I am so and so, so and so, so and so. I've been hypnotized. So people are hypnotized that they are body and mind. I am dehypnotizing them that you are not the body and mind, you are the self. You are not the body and mind, you are the self. You are not the body and mind, you are the self, which is divine in nature. So we have been hypnotized as body and mind. So scriptures are trying to dehypnotize us by saying that you are not the body and mind, you are the self. Say, for an example, accidentally someone has consumed, I mean, someone has taken the poison. Then, based on that poison, they gave an antidote. Why? Because the poison can be removed and the effect of poison can be nullified on the body. So similarly, this ignorance is can be consumed, ignorance can be compared as a poison. So we have consumed the poison, the ignorance. So the scriptures are giving the antidote which can be nullified. The ignorance can be nullified. That's why we have to keep on hearing the lecture. I mean, keep on hearing the scriptures, studying the scriptures, or hearing the scriptures from the Guru. That is called Shravana. They say it is a systematic, consistent, long study. So for one day, for 1 hour, 1 month, 1 year, I studied Vedanta, and that's enough. No, it is, and once in a while, however I wish. Today I read little Avaduta Gita, and one day I read Apokshanubhuti, one day I read Brahma Sutra, one day I read Gita, one day I read Narada Bhakti Sutra, like that. No. That's why they are saying that they define Shravanam as it is a consistent and it is a systematic study of the Vedanta scriptures for a length of time under the guidance of a able teacher. By that, the ignorance can be removed to the larger extent. And by Shravana, by hearing and by studying, though if we doubts are remaining and we are not getting convinced, then the author says, or the scripture say, then you start doing manana. Means repeatedly thinking. So what does Tattva Bodha say? What does Aprokshanabhuti says? What does Drukdashya Viveka says? Or what does Gita say? You should keep on cogitating time and again. Just like the cow, it simply swallows the fodder first, and afterwards again it brings back to its mouth and it chew again and again and it swallows again. So similarly, we keep on thinking, we keep on studying, we keep on cogitating on the Vedantic ideas time and again until otherwise I get convinced in the truth or my ignorance is removed. Then the question should come for all of you that then what about Nididhyasana? Vedantic contemplation. The author has reserved this Vedantic contemplation at this time, at this juncture. Why? Because he's going to explain the role of Nididhyasana at further slokas. So the removal of ignorance is what the role of the scriptures. The seer 3 is misidentified with the seer 2 or seer 1. That's why that removal of ignorance is the role of the scripture. Now, Sakshi, witness, plus Agnana, ignorance, what happens? Embodied self. Sakshi, or seer number 3, or witness, plus Agnana, ignorance, what happens? The embodied self, Jivatma, comes into picture. Then what happens to the Brahman, the self? Brahman plus Agnana or Maya, you can say. Brahman plus Agnana or Maya, if you say, then what happens? It becomes Jagat or this world. Sakshi plus Agnana, Jiva, Brahman plus Agnana, Jagat. We don't generally say Agnana, we only say Maya. Maya is Jagat. This is beautifully explained in the Gnana Yoga. Swamiji explains beautifully how this world has been conceived. He says beautifully, the Brahman is seen with the time and space causation glass or spectacles. That's how we see this world. How we are conceiving this world, how we are perceiving this world. The Brahman is seeing through this time and space causation, time and space goggles or the glass. That's how the world has been perceived, world has been appeared. So how the Brahman is identified with the universe, or how the Brahman is appearing as universe, that question may come. How I am thinking that I am embodied self, Jivatma, individual self. Now we have come to know. Seer number 3 is misidentified with seer number 2 or 1. That's why we are feeling the Jivatma came into existence, or it is appearing, or it is a wrong notion. Now, how the Brahman is appearing as the world, the question may come. For that, in the 18th verse, the author is trying to tell how the Brahman is appearing as the world. Tata Sarga Brahmanoscha Bedamavritya Tishtati Ya Shakti Tadvashat Brahma Vikrutatvena bhasate. Similarly, similarly means like just like the individual self, or I mean the seer number three thought, and it is appearing as the embodied self. So similarly, Brahman, through the influence of the power of Maya, which conceals the distinction between it and the phenomenal universe, appears as endowed with the attributes of change. Now, how this world is appearing, or how the Brahman is appearing as the world, that question may come for us. So, author is trying to tell. So, before explaining, I would like to explain the two powers of Maya. Then, if you understand, then you'll be able to understand this verse particularly clearly. Brahman has got two powers. One is Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection. Then the other is Avarna Shakti, that is the power of covering or the power of concealment. Probably, if you take the snake and rope example, which is a common example, time and again we take in Advaita Vedanta, the rope is been projected as, or the rope has been appeared as a snake. The rope is appearing as a snake. The rope has been, my mind is projecting the rope as a snake. That is called Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection. How it happens? Because there is a layer of ignorance. Ignorance has covered on the rope. That's why the rope is appearing as a snake. So, because the rope is projected as a snake or appeared as a snake, that is what Vikshepa Shakti, there is a cover, the ignorance, because of the ignorance, the rope is appearing as a snake. So, the first power of projection, the power of projection is called Vikshepa Shakti, and the power of covering or concealment is called Avarna Shakti. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, if you see, Sokamayata Bhosyam Prajayeti. The Brahman thought, Brahman wished, let me become many. So the Brahman projected this universe. Whatever this universe we are seeing, this world, Brahman projected it. This is called Vikshepa Shakti. And at the same time, we are unable to make the difference between the Brahman and the world, just like snake and the rope. That is what, because of the Avarna Shakti, the power of concealment. And I am experiencing the world. Every individual is experiencing the world. Why? Because the cosmic mind has got projected this world. We all our minds are part of the cosmic mind. That's why we are also able to perceive or conceive the world. Fine. But I am mistaking the Brahman and the world, both are one and the same. This is what Avarna Shakti, power of concealment or ignorance, this has to be removed. So, when realization happens, when ignorance has been destroyed, the power of projection doesn't go away. This has to be understood very clearly. Only Avarna Shakti is been removed or destroyed. It's a very technical point, but very important point. I will give an example, you'll be able to understand. When we were small, we used to see, oh, sun rises in the east and sun sets in the west. So when we were small, probably in the school or in the house, my teacher or parents had taught us. Every day, sun rises in the east and sun sets in the west. We have batted and we thought, okay, and we observed. Okay, sun rises in the east, beautiful. We enjoying it. Okay, sun sets in the west. Again, it is enjoying. We are enjoying. Sometimes we go to the seashore to enjoy the sunrise and the sunset. Along with our parents, we went and we enjoyed. Then we grow up. Then we come to adolescent or the youth. Then when we studying science, advanced science, we came to know that sun never rises and sun never sets. It is only the earth is rotating. That's why we feel that sun is rising and sun is setting. But in actually, sun never rises and sun never sets. No, we came to understand. Now we have got a knowledge, we came to understand sun never rises and sun never sets. But today, again, next day morning, after understanding, after going through the theory, the whole theory, why it is happening, what is the reason, etc., etc. The next day, early morning, you see, you will be able to see, you will be able to experience, you will be able to perceive the rise of sun. And the same day, again, evening, we will be able to perceive or experience the sunset. Earlier also I was experiencing, now also I'm experiencing, but the difference is I know it is not real. I'm able to experience the sunrise before knowing the truth, experience the sunrise and sunset. After knowing the truth, also I'm experiencing the sunrise and sunset. But the Satyatva Buddhi, the reality, the value of reality doesn't exist there. This is what it happens between the difference between the ignorant person and the realized person. However, I am seeing this world. Similar way, even the Gnani sees. For me, water, for Gnani, he doesn't see something else. He also sees it as a water only. If I am seeing a rock, he also sees it as a rock. I am seeing a tree, he also sees it as a tree only. But the whatever we are giving the reality, the cognition of the reality of whatever we are giving, that doesn't exist in the realized person. For him, everything is beautifully. Upanishad says, Vacharambano vikaro namadeyam vrittikaseva satyam. Mritika, the clay alone is real, but the name and form is unreal. There's a lump of clay. Then, using the lump of clay, we prepared pot, we prepared vase, we prepared a plate, we prepared a mud lamp. I mean, mud pot, mud vase, mud plate, and mud lamp. When you see people, most of us were obsessed with the name and form. But a real person, a potter, will be seeing that in each how much clay exists, whether it is clear or not, etc., etc. From the clay point of view, all the four are same, one and the same, but only it has got different name and it has got different form. But an ignorant person will be, for him, the plate is real. As a plate, it is real. As a vase, it is real. As a lamp, it is real. But for the realist person, as a clay, it is real. But as a pot, it is just a name and form. The clay is appearing as the plate, but actually the clay is real. The plate, the name, and the form, the shape of the plate, it is an appearance. This is what the difference happens. So the Brahman is appearing as the world, fine. How? Because of the one is Vikshepa Shakti, the other is Avarna Shakti. So maybe one more example I will give. Now, a log of wood was brought, then the carpenter he purchased it, and he cut into pieces, and he made beautiful table, beautiful chair, then beautiful desk, and beautiful maybe plate or beautiful what do you say bookshelf, table, chair, reading desk, and bookshelf. Four things are there. Now four things has been displayed for the sale. Now when we go, whatever is required for us based on the necessity, we purchase it. Fine. Do you, if you ask, table is real, I say yes. Generally it is no doubt. But in reality, the wood is real. The wood is been appearing as a table, wood is appearing as a chair, wood is appearing as a plate, wood is appearing as a desk, wood is appearing as a bookshelf. Now you may ask, how is it such, Swamiji? You remove the wood, what happens? What exists there? Nothing exists. The table ceases to exist. If you remove the wood, the chair ceases to exist. The bookshelf ceases to exist. The reading desk ceases to exist. That means what really exists there? Only wood exists, but it has got a particular form, particular shape. Based on the shape and form, we have got a name. But problem for us is the name and form has become the real than the original substance. But for a realized person, he sees the original substance. For him also name and form appears, but for him, the name and form is an appearance. He gives value for the original substance called wood, are still on the lighter side. I mean, I think I give this example often. I purchased a new bangles. I mean, new bangles. My mother or some of her family member purchased new bangle just 2 weeks before. And one more, I had a my family member had a necklace which is very old, probably. I mean, she got from great grandmother. No, because there was a financial difficulties, then the family members thought that we will go and we will sell it and we will take the money and we'll be able to handle our financial problems. Obviously, what we think in generally, this is a new bangle just 2 weeks before we purchase it, generally we get good amount for this. And this is age old, probably 50 or 80 or 100 or more than that. So probably because since it is old, it has lost its value and we don't get much value for this. Generally people think like that. And we take to the goldsmith and he say, look, this is the, I mean, very new brand bangles, and we purchased from the a notable shop, so you should give a good price for this. Here are the bangles. Fine. And here is a necklace, which is age old. My great grandmothers try to give a good price for this also. Then he weighs, or he examines and he weighs and says, my dear, your necklace will have more money, it will fetch more money than the bangles. Then, for our astonishment, are you mad? That is very old, and this is a brand new. How can you say that the necklace will fetch more money? My dear, whether it is a new or old, whether it is got old fashion, old design, this is a new fashion, new design, it doesn't matter for me. What matters me is how much gold it carries. So your oldest item called a necklace, it contains more gold. That's why I give more money for that. And it's a brand new one, no doubt, but it contains less quantity of gold, so you will get less amount. See the difference, the view of the goldsmith's view and a common person's view. This is what difference between a wise person and a ignorant person. There is no change actually in the gold and ornaments, and that is necklace and the bangles, but our view of reality, our perception changes. Why? Because he sees it as a gold and I see it as a necklace or bangle or whatnot. So this is what the Advaita Vedanta is trying to tell. So remove that wrong notion, remove that wrong notion, remove that wrong notion. The Satyatva Buddhi has been given to the world. So the Satya is not the world, that is Brahman, or the self, or the consciousness, or the awareness. I think this much example is enough. Now we shall go into the uh, actual thing. Now Brahman is appearing as this world. That's what Advaita Vedanta says. How? With its own power called Maya. Maya has got two powers. One is Vikshepa Shakti, the other is Avarna Shakti. Vikshepa Shakti is the power of projection, Avarna Shakti is the power of concealment or power of covering. So the Brahman is appearing as the world, which is nothing but name and form. But that is no problem. But I am unable to distinguish between the self and the non-self, between the subject and between the object, between the Brahman and the world which consists of name and form. That's only the problem is. So you remove that Avarna Shakti, the power of concealment, you destroy that power of concealment, then that is what? This is called Atma Anatma Viveka. The discrimination between the self and the non-self, the discrimination between the subject and the object, the discrimination between the self or the Brahman and the consciousness, and between the world and its object or name and form. So all our discrimination, all our struggle is what? To discriminate between the self and the non-self. The reality belongs to Sat, that which is the nature of the Brahman, not of the world. Just like in the golden bangles and the golden necklace, you remove the gold, what exists? Neither necklace exists nor the bangles exist. So the existence-ness, the existence or existence-ness belongs to bangles and necklace or to the gold, if you ask. You may scratch your head, no doubt, but you will understand slowly that the existence or the existence-ness belongs to the gold, not to the bangle, not neither to the bangle nor the necklace. So the moment we remove the gold, then the bangle ceases to exist, necklace ceases to exist. So the world exists, world is existing, is represent that existenceness that has been borrowed from the Brahman. We have seen how seer 1 has borrowed its existence from seer 2, how it has borrowed exist from seer 3. We have seen in the earlier talks. So this world has borrowed existence from the Brahman. If you remove the Brahman, for argument's sake, then the world ceases to exist. But unfortunately, we have mixed the Brahman and the world, and that's where our ignorance lies. So the moment you you discriminate and understand the differentiation between the Brahman and the world, then the ignorance is removed. Then there is no more suffering. Just one more simple example is I am sleeping, had a deep sleep. At some point of time, had a wonderful dream. In the dream, I went to Disneyland and I enjoyed. Or someone wanted to go to probably seven wonders of the world. His or her wish. So in the dream, he or she went to the seven wonders of the world, and all the seven wonders of the world he or she enjoyed. He experienced somewhere he or she slept, he or she ate something, and he or she met some people, interesting people, and he or she might have quarreled with some people. He or she might have experienced some good things, some bad things, worse things, or whatnot. All that experience were happening, and the seventh wonder of the world has been experienced. Then the sound started, alarm sound. Then I opened my eyes. Then back to square, where the previous night where I slept, same place I am there. Now in the dream, I enjoyed the seven wonders. I went to different countries in the flight or in the ship or in the bus or whatever. I met so many people. I ate ice cream. I ate different types of food, delicacies. I quarreled with some people. I had some nuisance. I experienced some nuisance. All these things had, but all this experience, did I really experience people? No. Did I really experience the seven wonders? No. Did I really experience all that happenings? No, objectively, but subjectively, yes. Why? Because my mind has taken the form of seven wonders. My mind take the different people, form of different people. My mind took the form of different food delicacies. My mind became the experiencer and the experienced. So similarly, the Brahman is the experiencer and even the experienced, but we are unable to discriminate between experiencer and the experienced. That's what the author is trying to tell, or the Vedanta is trying to tell. You are the experiencer, not the experienced. But unfortunately, we are not able to discriminate between the experiencer and the experienced. The Brahman, with the help of power of projection, it is projecting it as a world, fine, and it is also because of the ignorance, we are not able to differentiate between the Brahman and the world. So we have to understand. So means now you may get a question, Swamiji, you made all these things to make us to listen, make us to hear, make us to have this intellectual gymnasium, intellectual exercise. By this, what are you going to get? What are you going to get? What are we going to get from this? You tell me. We are all very practical, we are all very pragmatic, and if you say, then we are committing two mistakes in our life, which are the cause for all our problem and suffering. That can be understood by this discrimination. What is that? The existence of Brahman is superimposed on the world, and the reality or the nature of the Brahman is superimposed on the world. At the same time, the changing reality or the changing nature of the world has been superimposed on the Brahman. Or similarly, if it comes to us, I am the self, and self is existence, Sat. It is knowledge or awareness, that is Chit, and Ananda, happiness or bliss. And that has been superimposed on the world, and we feel that the world exists, or with the body and mind. Body and mind exists, and I'm body's mind is aware of it, and whatever the joy I'm getting through this body and mind, that has become reality for me. So the qualities of the, the nature of the Brahman or the self has been superimposed on the world or on the body mind. Similarly, the world or the body mind has got limited qualities, limited adjuncts, or it has got some deficiencies. All that nature of the body and mind or the world has been superimposed on the Brahman or on the Sakshi. That's why we are suffering. That's why we are confused. That's why we are baffled, and we are struggling, and we are suffering, and we are taking birth and death, the cycle of birth and death, samsara. From this, what happens? The problem of insecurity comes into picture. Why I want money? Why I want a house to live? Why I want name and fame, power and position, all these things? Because of root cause is problem of insecurity. I feel if I am graduate, people will respect me. The problem of disrespect or whatever. Then if I'm powerful, if I got power, position, if I'm powerful, people will listen to me. I'm secure. And if I'm more and more healthy, I can enjoy the world, I can go anywhere and everywhere, and I can get many things. So, with all our worldly achievements, basically the problem of insecurity exists. And we are trying to overcome this problem of insecurity either by achieving worldly achievements. And we do get over this problem to certain extent, but not completely. And after that, there are so many other side effects of it. So the problem of insecurity can be overcome, can be rectified, can be nullified, can be cancelled only by knowing oneself, our true nature, real nature, who am I. So that's why you have to do all this type of discrimination. You have to do understand what is the superimposition, what type of superimposition is happening, how many types of superimposition is happening. So this is what all things constitute Atma, Anatma, Viveka. That is the discrimination between the real and unreal, or the discrimination between the self and the non-self. So one is the problem of the sense of insecurity, or the problem of sense of insecurity. First problem as a corollary of those two things, superimpositions. The second is reliance, relying upon the unreliable world, relying upon the this matter, relying upon the body mind, which is temporary or which is not real at all. That's why we suffer, we suffer, we suffer. So one is problem of insecurity. Already we have got, and because we are thinking that body mind or whatever, and we are trying to find the security in the world and its objects, or with the body and mind and its happiness or whatever its products. That's why these two problems can be handled only by knowing who am I, or the discrimination between the self and the non-self. Either you rely upon the self or you are rely upon the God. That's okay. If you remember, I think in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, Ananyas chintayanto mam ejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamya. Whoever takes refuge in me, whoever thinks in me, whoever engage in exclusive devotion to me, what happens? I provide whatever they lack and preserve whatever they already possess. Yoga Kshema. One is yoga is whatever exists, it has to be preserved. And yoga and Kshema is whatever is lagging, one is accumulating it or getting it. Whatever is lagging, getting it. One is that the other is whatever is existing, it has to be preserved. That is called yoga kshema. There's a very beautiful word, yoga kshema. Again, it can be thought well. Oh, are you yoga kshema? Let there be, at least in southern part of India, I've seen that people bless that you should have a good well yoga kshema. We say that, but we don't know the real meaning of yoga kshema. One is whatever I don't have, getting it, acquiring it, and whatever I have, that is maintaining it or preserving it. That is called yoga kshema. So author gives the solution actually here, that the solution is sorting out the confusion between the self and the non-self. And so what is this power? Vikshepa Shakti and Avana Shakti, and by that the Brahman is appearing as the world. We saw in the 18th verse. In the 19th verse, the author tries to tell, he tries to explain in detail, or he explains in detail, what is this called Maya, that is Maya Shakti, or wheeling power of Maya, covering power of Maya, what it is, how it works. It has been explained in detail in 19th verse. Let us try to understand in the forthcoming classes. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.